All right. Happy Wednesday. My camera is acting up already and it's like 11 seconds in. So hopefully I'm not frozen on your screen, but if I am, I'm sorry. I'll try to fix that. But anyway, hope you're all having a great Wednesday so far. And if you're not, I hope it gets better because why not, right? Why is my camera not working? This is horrible. This has never happened before. I'm going to have to switch cameras, people. Not something I normally do, but I'm going to have to do it. Bear with me for a second as I switch around some things here, and hopefully this will still work out okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to move this. Oh, hey, I unfroze. Jeez. All right. It's going to keep freezing on me. Well, that's not fun. Don't know why my camera's freezing. I'm just going to go with it. If it freezes again for any length of time, I will switch. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all doing great. We're going to talk about some kitchen design tips tonight. I got some slides to show you, make it a little more interesting. I was going to try to wear a tie, but I just couldn't get it to fit right with the shirt. So I guess I'll have to wait on that one. And yeah, hope everyone's having a great week so far. I'm having a great day. Let me tell you a story. I went to Home Depot today with a client. We were picking out a kitchen and all that kind of stuff because they're getting a new kitchen, obviously. So we were just there picking out everything, going through the stuff. So I had the chance to take in my design to the Home Depot employee, and they were going through it. So a couple funny things happened, and one, they don't know who I am, which is fine. Not that they should or would at all, anyway. But when you're talking to another kitchen designer, and it's kind of interesting. So I showed them my design for this client's kitchen, and she had a few questions. So one of the things we wanted to do in this kitchen was not have any corner cabinets. Surprise, surprise, that I didn't want to have a corner cabinet in this kitchen. And of course, the client agrees, and they don't want a corner cabinet, don't need one. The corner cabinet they have now is very useless for them. And in the specific position, it just actually does make sense to block it off. And but when the kitchen designer at Home Depot seen it, she was like, what why are you doing that? Why would you do that? So it was just, and it was just funny because not everyone obviously agrees with my corner cabinet solutions. However, we had a chat about them. I said, no, we definitely don't want corner cabinets, and I explained why, and that's all fine. But then the next funny thing is the client originally now has an OTR, and they don't want to have an OTR again, or they're not sure. And I when it comes to dealing with client, on YouTube, I don't like OTRs, and that's fine. But if a client wants one and it's the best solution for them, then we have to work that out and figure that out, what's going to work for their kitchen. Their kitchen's the most important, not my opinions or what I want. It has to work for them. But we don't think we're going to do an OTR anyway. However, the Home Depot designer asked my client who was there, how do you like it? And they're like, well, it's here nor there. Like, didn't really matter to them. And I piped up and I said, I just can't stand them. She's like, I agree. I don't like them either. I just think they're a horrible idea. I was like, yeah, we're one for one. So I lost one on the corner, but I gained one on the OTR. And so it was kind of funny. But I did notice something while I was there, is that I stood around for quite a long time and no one came by to say, do you need a hand with anything or anything like that, which I found kind of annoying. I because I was in the customer service business for so long, in a store, in a showroom setting, whatever, when someone's standing around and nobody's talking to them, that really bothers me. Even when I go to stores now, I'll end up helping people. I don't even work there, but I'll end up helping people if they're just standing there and they're kind of looking like they don't know what they're looking for. Especially like in a hardware aisle when they're looking at different types of drawer rails and all that stuff that you can buy off the shelf. They're just like, there's so many different kinds, or hinges, because you can get full overlay and half overlay and inset hinges, and they all look sort of the same. But if you get the wrong one, you're totally gonna be messed up. And so I just can't help myself. I don't like people just standing there, not being waited on, not being helped. And so that kind of irked me. So, I get it. They're all busy, but there was a few associates kind of just standing around, not doing anything, and they weren't talking to me. And, you know, that just bugs me. So anyway, but that's just me. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they didn't like me. I have no idea. Or maybe they were like, that's that Mark Tobin guy. We don't want to go near him. That's not the case. But anyway. So yeah, a little adventure at Home Depot. It's always fun. And it's always an adventure when I have a client that's actually in my community where I can actually go to their home and measure their kitchen and see the whole process live and in the can. So that's kind of interesting. All right. We're going to jump into the slides here. I see lots of people chiming in on the chat feed. So thanks so much for saying hi. I see Jackie's here, and she's just going to make sure people keep in line today. And Sunday is Jackie's birthday, so make sure you send her out a big birthday wish. And of course, there's probably other people whose birthdays are coming up. So if that's you and your birthday's this month, happy birthday. And thanks for all the birthday wishes that were sent my way last week. Do super appreciate it. So we'll jump into this, and then we'll jump over into the chat, and hopefully we'll get to you. If you have questions, please be sure to put them in there, and I'll try to answer them, or at least somebody will attempt to answer them. There's a lot of smart people hanging around here, so there's no fear in not at least getting an attempt on an answer. So here we go. This is what we're going to talk about today. Where'd my slide go? Oh, I'm horrible at this right now. The freezing of my camera got me all kind of messed up. So I just got to reset and chill out. It's not a big deal. It's just a live stream. That's no big deal, right? All right, here we go. All right, kitchen design, crucial success tips. That's what we want to talk about tonight. I got the Ember mug at 61.5, so that's going to keep me nice and toasty down here. And we're going to talk about some success tips on designing a kitchen. There's no way that this is an exhaustive list, but it just gives us something to jump off and chat about. And I see Matthew is chiming in right away with measure, 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 which isn't actually on my list. However, very good point when you are thinking about design. Measure, measure, measure. Yeah, nothing wrong with just double checking and making sure you're reading your tape measure the right way and not reading it upside down. So unless you're good at it. All right, number one is this. I'll jump back and forth like I usually do, and we'll try to hit some of the chat, and we'll hit these as we go. So the first one is this. Plan for wide walkways. Plan for wide walkways. This is a no-brainer that everyone knows about already. It's not like, wow, a new information. But it's good to hear it again in a kitchen design situation. It's always important to allow at least 42 inches for a standard walkway. Can you get away with less? Of course you can. Do I recommend it? Depends on the situation, but you should at least allow for 42 inches for a one-person kitchen. If there's more than two people in the kitchen at all times, in other words, normally there's two of you or more cooking at the same time, then it's a good idea to go with 48 inches if you can. This is all determined by the space available that you have if you can actually get this amount. If you can't, you go with the widest you can and go from there. And if you can deal with less, then that's fine. But in the perfect situation, the perfect scenario, if you can get at least 42 inches of walkway around your kitchen, meaning that if there's an island or if it's a galley or if it's a peninsula of some sort, as long as wherever there's a walkway, that you would have at least 42 inches. And will that be enough space? It sort of depends, and that's why 48 is a little better. I prefer 48, even with a one-person kitchen, if we can get away with it. Just a little extra space with doors, like a oven door or a dishwasher door, makes all the difference when you have a little extra space to move around in. You certainly do appreciate it. So something to think about if you're going to design your own space, or if you're dealing with a designer. These are some things just maybe to clarify. Hey, what's the distance of that walkway? How much space is there? And normally that'd be something that they'd ask you, or they'd take care of, but always good to know. And especially if you're going to plan to do your own renovation, then that's definitely something you want to take care of. Cool. All right, let's look at some of the chat feed. I want to say hi to you if you're if you're jumping on. And if it's your first time on a live stream, please let me know where you're watching from. Say hi in the chat, introduce yourself. There's lots of friendly folks here, and we all have something to share about this design world. And so that's always fun. And if you're been around for a while, you know the drill, and hopefully we'll get to your chat. So and I'm just gonna sift through here, but oh, Jackie's got the birthday wishes coming in, so that's very nice. Yeah, very, very cool. Always good. Yeah. Gets me all messed up, all that freezing. It's especially when it happens like right at go time, you know? That's never a good scenario. All right, let's keep going then, and we'll jump back in the chat here a little more. I see Jeff from Louisville. Cool. Thanks for saying hi. And Laura's here. Indianapolis. Awesome. And Jackie, of course, is here. That's been happening to me more in more Home People. People don't come or appear to be annoyed when you ask for help. Yeah, what is with that? Like, I don't know, the customer service industry. I know it's difficult because dealing with customers can be challenging. However, that's your job, so you should do it. It could suck anywhere. It could be great anywhere. Depends on the people. And by the way, this kitchen designer that we were dealing with was great. By the way, she was fantastic. She knew her stuff. You know, it was really good. So that I had no problems with that. So what is this? Hey, the whole family's watching tonight. Hey, whole family. Thanks for watching. I can't believe you're watching me and not something else on Netflix. So thank you very much. We have you casted on the TV. Woo! There you go. Awesome. I do appreciate it. Hey, El Paso, Texas. Cool. Sylvia, thanks. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. And saying hi, of course. Yeah, you think big box stores seem to be gravitating more and more to self-service. I don't know, like, I guess people don't generally like at IKEA, no one really comes to you and asks if you need help with anything. I don't know. Maybe they don't want you to feel like you're trying to force them, you know, being all salesy and whatnot. It's just nice to say, "Hey, do you need a hand?" Or "I'm over here if you need something," or whatever. Or just acknowledge their presence. That's all. Jackie, remember like back, you know, when we were kids and Thursday night television, you know, had all the hot shows on. You remember those days, right? It was like Thursday night, and then later on it was like TGIF. It's kind of funny now because my kids are really into I think it's Family Matters, whatever the show is with Steve Urkel. I'm not sure which one it is, but they're really into it, and it's a hilarious show. All right. I want someone to acknowledge me that I'm there, and if I need assistance, yeah, just nice to know that, hey, we see you. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, wait. Kurt, hey, thanks for joining tonight. Awesome that you're joining in from Maryland. Awesome. Very, very cool. And Phil, I broadcast you on our TV, but Peppa Pig is on, and I'm sorry, the kids think it outranks you. Oh, Peppa Pig and George. I remember those days. Not that long ago. All right, got to keep moving on. Where are we at here? Here's the next one. So plan for good walkways. Number one tip. You can't go wrong with that. All right, next is this: eliminate wasted steps. Best that you can, eliminate wasted steps. And what I mean by this is that, and this stems from a video that I'm doing, kind of a not a reaction to, but a comment on for this Saturday. I'm commenting on that video, Step Saving Kitchen from 1949. So I'm doing a kind of a commentary on that. And what I noticed in that video is they're very specific. I'm just going to drink this. They are very specific about the zones that they're using. So they have this baking zone, and the whole idea is that everything you need for that area that you're going to use there is going to be stored in that vicinity instead of being, you know, all over the place. So the stuff that you need for that particular task is there. Now, some of us, and so I have here, do you bake? Do you make preserves? Or do you drink too much coffee? Like, do you have a coffee station, and then it's important that you design all the things around coffee to be in that area? Or if you have a baking center, plan those things out. If you enjoy baking and it's something you want to incorporate in your kitchen, then likely you're going to want to have a setup so that it's very conducive to do that easily and save steps from having to walk around all the place. Same with if you make preserves or whatever it is. And otherwise, I mean, if you're not into any specific tasks, but normally in the kitchen, there's, we have like, let's say, even making lunches for kids. That's that's the big one. So especially, well, right now our kids make their own lunches, so it's very beneficial. But not that long ago, it's like every night you're just inundated with snacks for the kids and trying to get it all together, and it's last minute or whatever. So having all those things in one place that you need, your Tupperware and just the snacks and all that stuff, like think through that if that's something that's really important. The lunch making season is just incredible. Once September hits and you've been out of it for a while through the summer, and then you jump back into it, and you're making lunches all the times. And when I was teaching school, I remember there'd be kids at the start of the year that have these like nice like sandwiches, and they'd have all this real nice lunch stuff. And then like it wouldn't even be into October, and those same kids were just like Lunchables and just like stuff off the shelf just jammed into their bag. They're just like those Lunchable hot dogs. Oh, they're so gross. And anyway, it was just kind of funny. So yeah, make sure you have a place for all that stuff. So that's really the tip. And it's just good planning that if you have a spot that you can eliminate steps by, making a zone for the specific things that you need it for. So yeah, let's go back to the here. Well, I mean, you don't need it in your kitchen, right, Maggie? I mean, you can get your exercise without. My kitchen's not big enough anyway to be getting any exercise. Funny thing is, Amy and I got these matching Fitbits, and so now the competition's on every single day. Like, who got the better sleep? Who got the most steps in? Whose heart rate is equilibrialized? Everything is about the Fitbit now. So now, yes, I agree with you, Maggie. I'm walking around my island. In fact, I actually did this the other day because I needed to get steps on Amy. She was at work and she has to walk, all around. So I was in the kitchen because I work at home, and I was just literally walking around the island while I was waiting for my coffee to brew, just getting my steps in, my 10,000 steps. Oh, sorry, Jackie. No, I meant to do this one. Hey, Cheryl. Slags land for the customer service desk. The staff play a game. Who has to help the customer where they try to ignore the customer standing there all while peeking at each other to see who breaks? Well, that's not a good idea. Funny for them, maybe. They should play a game of who can be the first person to wait on the customer, get a sale. Anyway. Ooh, I'm a tall person with like 38-inch countertop height, but not easy to get unless you're going custom, and then it's still not easy to get sometimes. That's coming up in this video that I'm talking about, actually, about the steps saving kitchen, because they're talking about different heights and how they have these pull-out boards that just elevate, the working surface for you, which is an issue for most kitchens because 36 inches finished is generally like it, especially if you're going with an RTA or semi-custom. And normally, unless you want to pay a huge upcharge to have them customized to get anything higher than that. So yeah, that's a real issue. Hiring. I can't English tonight. Making countertop higher or lower can be sometimes a problem. All right, let's keep going, and I'll jump back in here. If I can figure out what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Next one. All right, think about traffic. What's that have to do with your kitchen? Well, it has to do with there's people walking through your kitchen. And when you're designing a kitchen, you want to design it in such a way that you direct traffic flow away from the main working area the best that you can. So peninsulas work well for this. And sometimes with an island, the purpose of, not the purpose of that island, but one of the things about that island is you want traffic to be flowing around the island and not through that. You don't want people to be going through the kitchen if they're going from one room to another. And sometimes the kitchen is a place where there's traffic going from one room to the other. Kids or just whatever, just people in your house, whoever live there, are going from, kitchen maybe to a mudroom, or maybe to a garage, or maybe just to a den or whatever. And if you're designing a kitchen, you want to make sure that the traffic isn't flowing through that main kitchen area. And you want to think about where your fridge is located, so that, because the fridge is normally the most, used appliance in terms of everybody in the family, is probably going to be in the fridge, getting whatever. It's generally not dangerous. It's not a stove and cook anything. You just grab what you need to grab and go. And so generally the fridge should be in a place where you don't need to walk through the kitchen to access it, but you can also access it from like where the traffic should be flowing, which is basically around your kitchen. So it's something to think about when you're designing a kitchen. And that's why I like normally to have fridges, that's why you normally see it. And that's why I like to have fridges, on an end. You certainly don't want to have them in the middle, breaking up counter space, because that's not good at all. But you want to also have it in an area where there's not going to be people walking by it all the time to get through the kitchen. So make sure you plan that out. Think about traffic when you're designing your kitchen, so that it's easier, it's safer, and you're not going to be, tripping over the dishwasher door when it's open, or if the fridge is open, or if the oven's open, or whatnot. Or if you're just in there cooking and, you don't want someone behind you and you have a knife or something, an accident. So that's kind of the main crux of that one. And then again, just to make sure that fridge is in a place where it can be easily accessed by everyone, so they can get the, can of Zevia when they need to. All right, let's keep going. I got lots of comments here. And Jackie, Pete had a question. 38-inch counter, width, 30-inch counter height. Can a conventional gas range be installed on a 2-inch riser base? You have to check with the manufacturer, Pete, on that one. I don't see why not. However, yeah, if it's done right, I think you can do it. Check with the manufacturer. You'd have to do something. If that's the height of your countertops and you're having them raised like that, then you're gonna have to raise it up. I don't see why you couldn't. So, and put a skirt around the bottom of it or something, just to make it look how you want it to look. Yeah, everything has to be, everything's going to have to go up then, because you have to make sure that you have the clearance above that range. But if you're raising the height of your base cabinets, then you're most likely not going to, be too concerned with raising the height of your wall cabinets and everything else being raised. If you're tall, then that shouldn't matter either. So I don't see that being a big deal. But again, yeah, you got to ask Carol saying, ask the salesperson, check with the manufacturer, and find out. Yeah. Oh, Karen's saying they have their electric range raised 2 inches, similar 30-inch height, and the whole family loves it. Only problem I see is for gas connection. Yeah. So again, check with the manufacturer. Can it be connected? No problem. If you do raise it, I don't see it being a problem. Obviously, other people are doing it. Karen's doing it. So, oh, sorry, Maggie, what are you saying? I put an extra corner sink in and blew out the need for a corner cabinet. Put all my plumbing under it, and it works great. Love 2 sinks. Well, that's a cool idea for a second sink. Put it in the corner if it's not your main sink. I mean, corner sinks are for me, but if it's your second sink, it's a great idea. Cool. I like it. KRD87, I moved the knives to a different drawer 2 years ago. My kids still pretend that they can't find them. That's funny. I find that happens when we moved. We had a drawer next to our range that had particular things in it, and now it's not next to our range in the new kitchen. And I still, after 3 years, go to that drawer sometimes by accident, like, oh no, they're not there anymore. Easy to do. Is it dangerous to have a window next to your gas range or vent hood? A window? No, I don't think it's dangerous. It's dangerous maybe if you have curtains hanging on it, but otherwise I don't think it's dangerous. Again, those are the That's a good question, definitely for the manufacturer to see what the clearances are or should be. Um, directly next to a window, I don't see it being an issue. I don't see it being an issue. Hey, you did. You actually did. Thanks for being here. Cool. Hey, from LA. All right. Yeah, I love it. Cleveland. Awesome. Kelly Hahn. Hey, Kelly. Thanks so much for being here. Let's go to the next slide, everyone. All right. So we're thinking about traffic. All right. Oh, careful with those corners. All right. Not just talking about corner cabinets, but also watch the appliance placement too. So, but let's talk about corner cabinets for a minute. You definitely want to plan that out in a really particular way so that you get the most accessible, most functional, most usable corner for your kitchen. And obviously, we all know that I'm not a huge fan of corner cabinets. No brainer. It, but that doesn't mean that they're not necessary in kitchens, and that doesn't mean that they're not functional and on any of that stuff. So think about your corners when you're designing a kitchen. What kind of corner do you want? What kind of accessory is going to be in there, and how much space you have. If you have space for a standard 90-degree, corner cabinet with a lazy Susan, but then there's only a small little space, like 9 inches or less between that and maybe a sink base, maybe it's kind of cramped, then you may want to reconsider how you do that corner. And then can you put in, can you put in a blind corner? Do you have space for that? And would that be more accessible for you if you had a blind corner with a pullout? Think about all those options. Can you put in corner drawers? Those are pretty popular, and something that a lot of people do. Can you put your sink there? Really think through the type of corner that you want. Go to showrooms that show all the options and make sure that you kind of have a look at it. IKEA is great for this because their showrooms are really well put together to show you all the options. And when you go there, you can actually open the things up and see how it works. And I think that's really crucial because otherwise, how do you know? So think about your corners. Now, I mentioned here also about your appliance placement. So be careful when you're placing appliances that they're not too close to corners, because what happens is you create a corner. You create a corner. You create an inaccessible corner, or sometimes a corner that just it's awkward. So if you have a fridge that's too close to a corner, you create this really kind of area that's hard to navigate. Now, of course, this all has to do with how much space you have, where things can go, and if you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. But if you have a choice and you're designing a kitchen, plan to make those appliances, at the very least, for a range. I mean, at least 38 inch, 36 to or more from a corner. But if you're going with a fridge, like give it as much room as possible, because the fridge is so deep. So just something to consider when you're thinking about your corners. And again, with your corner cabinets, lots of options out there. Try to at least touch and feel them in a showroom so you know what you're getting into, and so that and here's why: a lazy Susan is not equal across all brands. Some are great, some are horrible, and you want to know which kind you're getting. If you're going to IKEA, they have pretty good corner cabinet solutions. And if you're going to, I don't know where else, if you're Home Depot, see if you can have a look at those things. That the issue with a lot of those places is that they only do these little 4-foot bays, and they don't show a lot of corner cabinets. So try to get a good feel on it. Thanks, Maggie. I appreciate it. Someone mentioned about a window blowing out the flame. So there you go. So maybe it's not a good idea if you have an open window. I wasn't thinking about an open window, actually. I was just thinking about like a casement window, but that would be something to consider. And Winston's here and he's gone. Thanks for being here, Winston. If I didn't get to you, what else? Karen, think of making the one corner in our planning reno and appliance garage. Okay. Yep. I mean, even the corner, I mean, that's a good idea, really. Uh, Putting in an appliance garage in a corner. If you don't need that corner for anything else, it's a good way to hide stuff that you don't want on your countertop. So I don't mind appliance garages. I like them. Phil, for fridges, you also got to remember to clean the condenser coils in the back. And it's hard to pull out a corner fridge to do that. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to pull out a fridge, period. My fridge doesn't move. It's so heavy. But it's just a flat back. There's no coils in the back of mine. So, hey, Kurt, what's your opinion regarding open versus closed kitchens? Could you do a poll? Open versus closed kitchens. Yeah, I can do a poll. Let's do one right now. So if you didn't already hit the like button, make sure you did. 18 of you, or 81% said yes, I did, and 19% said you'll do it now. Let's end the poll and create a new one so we can get an answer for what Kurt thinks. Here, let's do this. How am I going to word this, Kurt? What? Bear with me, everybody. This is live, so what would you prefer? Open kitchen, closed kitchen. There you go. New poll. What do you prefer, open versus closed? Vote on that, and let's get an answer for Kurt as far as what the community here thinks. My opinion, I like open kitchens. So, but I don't not like closed kitchens. You know what I mean? Like, it sort of depends on the house. I like the open kitchen still. I like open concept. So for me, I think it's great. That doesn't mean I don't not like the other. And my parents' kitchen is a closed kitchen. My in-laws' kitchen is a closed kitchen. I have friends who have closed kitchens, and I like, they're fine. They work great. The kitchen, it works. It's all good. Everything's wonderful. I just happen to like open, and yeah. So it sort of means like it's all walls, basically. It's not meaning there's like a doorway into it, but normally a closed kitchen, in my opinion, would be at least 4 walls and maybe even a 5th wall with an opening. Like it all sort of depends. But yeah, we'll get the poll going and see what happens there. And everyone can say what their opinion is. Like if I had my rathers, I'd go with an open kitchen because that's what I like. So. All right. So I'm just looking through all these comments, and I'm missing a whole bunch of these. My apologies. Need to put felt in the bottom of the fridge when I first install it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Very good idea. So if I miss your comment, forgive me. I'm even I miss Jackie's, and she's trying to help me out. So. Oh, I didn't even read that. Darlene's already put it up and didn't read it. Darlene, thanks so much. You're late, but you're here. Press the like button when I come in the door. Thank you. Thank you. Good. All right, let's go back to, let's just jump down here. Is the tide turning? Hey, Jackie. Is the tide turning on open concept? Open kitchen design. Seam tastes are morphing due to COVID, other social changes. I don't know. I think there's a push for a more closed design concept, but I don't really know if it's because we actually like it, or we just think maybe we need to. I don't really know. I actually think the tide is turning. So that's the answer, I guess. Yeah, I think the tide's turning, but not in this ocean. That was lame. Anyway, I like an open kitchen. I think I like a kitchen open to the dining room, but closed to the living room. Yeah, which totally makes sense. Mine is open to everything, and but yeah, I'll tell you this though, I see the benefit of having a more closed kitchen because, especially in a home like mine, we're all sitting in the kitchen, we're watching something, and if someone's cooking and the fan's going, you can't hear what's going on television or the game you're playing or whatever, and it's like, well, that's not a big enough deal, but it sort of is if it's bugging you, or you're trying to have a conversation with someone, but the fan's going or the dishwasher's going, or you got YouTube on the fridge, like it'd be pretty annoying. All right. How about a galley? Yeah, I like galleys. I like all kitchens. I like all kitchen shapes or layouts. Again, if they fit the house and they're laid off nice, I have no problem with it. Galley is kind of more of a closed kitchen, I guess, wouldn't it? It's not really open. Could be open on both ends, but generally there's usually like a door on one end and maybe a pass through. So yeah. Thanks. Oh my. All right. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Designers need to make you change things for them to make money. Yeah, the more revisions, the more money, more changes. And then another good point, don't need to look at a mountain of dirty dishes from the living room. So another reason, that's a reason why some people like a raised island instead of a flat surface on an island or a one level surface. This is the reason that comes up quite a bit actually. So not seeing dirty dishes or just seeing the stuff in the kitchen. Um, but I'm going to tell you something that doesn't make those dishes go away. We got lots of closed and open concept comments. Thanks, Kurt, for that question because it opened up the floodgates here. I like the closed concept is good for introverts like me who don't like socializing or being bothered by people while cooking. I know I don't come across as an introvert, but in a crowd of people, I am, and I actually like that too. I don't have that in my kitchen, but I hear you, Phil, on that one. Empty kitty on the fridge while everyone else is trying to watch Thursday Night Football. Yeah, or we just put football in the fridge and watch MTKD on the big screen. Cool, cool. Oh my! All right, let's keep going. Oh, Facebook. A galley in his kitchen in a hallway. It passes through. It doesn't really work. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically, depends on how wide it is. And I see someone. Yeah, Andrea. Sorry, said window on one end. So that's definitely not a pass through. So it depends on how it's laid out. Introverts unite. Wait a sec. No, we can't do that. We would know when we wouldn't talk to each other. We'd all just be standing in our own corner. I'm thinking of my kitchen hall between the dining room and the breakfast room. Coming to think the three rooms together as a kitchen suite. Oh, that's cool. A kitchen suite. Ooh, that sounds pretty posh. I'm just going to keep reading comments and then I'll jump into the to this for a minute. So appreciate you. I'd call my kitchen openish, no walls, but a peninsula. Yeah, that's openish for sure. But no door, but a doorway. But from the kitchen, you can see the entire space. I'm used to it. Yeah, I like that. Have to be for now as a first home buyer. True, but a peninsula is good. One of the things, of course, we used to see a lot of is the hanging cabinets over a peninsula. That was generally like the one thing that most people would take out right away, so that they could have that more open feel, even if they didn't get rid of the peninsula. Because generally, there's nothing wrong with a peninsula. It's extra counter space. Normally, it's extra seating. It's extra cabinet space, and it can really work. And it actually directs people away from the main area that you're working in. So I like peninsulas. I like islands more, but it's all kind of like subjective. Hey, I guess years of working in a restaurant kitchens, I feel it is a workspace in the dining rooms for enjoying a meal. Yeah, Pamela, thanks for being on. And I guess that would be so true. If you're just used to working in the kitchen, you don't want it to be maybe a social place. You want to go and enjoy your meal in another spot. I get that for sure. Kitchen islands have become really a substitute for, dining rooms, almost dining tables, because people like to gather there. Though, and, two of our last places that we've lived, I designed an island that because we didn't have a dining room in either of those homes, and designed an island, fully functional island, had seating on both sides. So um, it worked. It worked, especially with little kids. Now as they get older, they didn't sit there as much, and that's what I find. If you're going to use it, sometimes people don't sit there. I love my peninsula, but I wish I had space for an island. If I could afford to take out that load-bearing wall. Someday, Jackie. We got to wait for YouTube to take off and get that big YouTube check coming in. We'll get that. We'll get that out of there. Kurt, thanks so much. I super appreciate that. Thank you so much. Super chat or super sticker, or one of those things. Either way, muchly appreciated. Thank you. Jackie of all trades at Jackie of all trades. I think peninsulas are good as well, as long as there's lots of counter space on said peninsula. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to have all that counter space. Speaking of that, let's go back to this slide. Island vibes. Next thing you want to think about when you're talking about a kitchen design or planning a kitchen, or whatever you're doing with your kitchen, whether it's a new home, new renovation. Think about how you're going to use your island. Now, this particular island in the picture has a sink in it and a dishwasher, and I had a request for that today. I was doing a kitchen for a client, and they wanted to have their sink and dishwasher in the island. And some people would prefer definitely not to have anything on their island. Some people want to have their cooktop in their island. Some people have their oven or their microwave in their island. And so think about how you want that island to function and how you'd prefer that to be. Now, and this is all personal choice and how you want to use the space. I prefer just to have one open space of countertop, that there's nothing interrupting that. Some people love to have a sink in that island, so that maybe in this scenario, that if people are at the table and you're in the kitchen, everybody can converse, and you can be extroverted in that situation. Some people like to have their range there, so the range top. Lots of different variations of doing this, and plan that out on how you think it's going to be. Get some ideas. If you're doing a kitchen renovation, what would the sink look like in the island? First of all, how do I think that would be? Try to visit a showroom where you can see that. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have space behind that island. So if you don't have space on your island to extend it on the back, at least, this is probably another 24 inches in this picture. If you don't have room to extend that, maybe you want to reconsider and not have that. If you have the space for that, so that if someone's sitting behind there, they're not getting wet, or stuff splashing on them, or just food particles splashing on them, then this is something that you may want to reconsider if you don't have the room for it. So just the thought process as I go through kitchen designs, these are some of the things I think about. If you want an island with a sink, well, there's kind of a criteria for that, and if you don't meet that criteria, maybe it's not worth that idea, and that's okay. Because you just want to make it as functional as possible, right? Am I right? Or not? I think so. My island is going to be 7 feet, no sink. I want it for baking and prep only. Yeah, awesome. 7 feet's a good size island. I think that's the size of my island right now. It's really great. My island is movable and modern rustic. I bet your island looks fantastic, Darlene, because I just have that feeling, yeah, movable is cool. That comes in really handy. One of the issues with an island where we live, especially, is building code permit. Like, you have to have, in order to get your permit, if you're doing that, if you're getting a permit, in new construction, you definitely have to. So you have to have electrical in your island, and so having a movable island can sometimes be an issue. So you have to build it in such a way that there's no island in the plan, and then you can bring that in later on and put it on wheels or casters, and away you go. It's a great idea, having it movable. As long as you have a place to move it to if you're not using it in the kitchen. If it's something you're bringing in and out all the time. If not, if it just stays there, it doesn't really matter. I kicked my peninsula out in favor of an island. Yeah, I do like islands more personally. Sometimes, the space calls for a peninsula, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's all good. Well, building code where I'm at requires it because they don't want you to be at your island with a cord running across a walkway to another countertop surface wall area and plugging in, whatever it is you're plugging in. So they want to prevent that from happening. So it's building code that you have electricity in your island for that main reason. And in fact, if your island is over a certain length, you have to have more than one. And and that changes probably from state to state, province to province. But as far as where I'm at, that's code. And also another thing, you see those pop-up receptacles, that they push down into your surface, and then they're at a site, they pop up, they look really nice. That's not even allowed where I live. But where Carol lives in New Brunswick, building code permits that you can have that. So, from place to place, it's a little bit different. So you just got to go with it. But just make sure you check that out if you are building. Obviously, if you're building, you're not going to have to know what the building codes are because other people are looking out for that for you. But it's good to know anyway. Bonnie's saying electricity in an island is code in the U.S. So there you go. It probably is in every state. I would imagine it would be because I think it's an international code regulation. So, knitting the requires island outlets at both ends. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Makes sense. Our builder submission code requires, yeah. So, and that is the main reason, is just so that there's not cords running across a walkway, a walk-through, causing a problem. Oops, sorry. Oh, wait, no. A Murphy bed style peninsula. No, I'm not with you on that one. Interesting though. I'd have to see that in action, Winston, I think. I'm just inviting. I want to talk to you while cooking, but please stay in my kitchen. Sorry, stay on the other side of that island. Don't come on this side. Okay, let's go to the next slide. What do we have here? Okay, so we got island vibes. Think about your island. Oh, let's, before we do, let's just check our poll that we put up for Kurt and see where we're at. I want to see what we're doing here. 68 are in favor of an open kitchen and 32% in favor of closed kitchen. I would have suspected that to be fairly close to what it is. So just because of the popularity of open kitchens. All right, let's go to the next one. Microwave height. All right, let's talk about microwaves for a minute. This can be tricky. Really think this one through. There's lots of options for a microwave, and you want to make sure that you get it right for your kitchen. Because if you're renovating your kitchen, you're putting in a new kitchen, and you're dedicating a space for microwave, then normally it's going to be like that for a long time. And I said it today. In fact, another thing this Home Depot designer agreed with me on, not that I need people to agree with me, but she did, because we were talking about microwaves, and I said, and I've said it before, don't design your kitchen around a microwave. And she's like, yes, definitely don't do that. And we had a little chuckle. So I guess we spoke the same language on that one. So think about your microwave, how you want it to be. So one of the questions from today's scenario with the client I was dealing with today is they have an OTR now. And so, do they want to keep that OTR or get a new one that is broken, but do they want to do that? Do you want to have a dedicated cabinet for it, or do you want to have it on on the countertop? Now, because theirs is broken, they have a small one on the countertop, and it works fine. It's microwaves are pretty small when they're not built-in units. Built-in units are massive for some reason. OTRs are generally massive. Jackie has a space-saving one, but other than that, most of them are like pretty massive and just in your face. And the ones that the built-in ones, even the one I have is massive. It just takes up this whole cabinet. It's huge. Yet the countertop ones are like these little tiny things. It's like, why are they so big? Why are these built-in ones so massive? They both do the same thing. So you want to think about that. Now, what we're deciding is, do we want to put in another OTR? It's up to them if they want to do that, and whatever works, or go with a cabinet style or a countertop style. If we're going to put it in a cabinet, that means we're taking away a lot of space from the cabinet. So we didn't want to do that. We had one really nice big set of like a drawer bank, and we'd have to actually remove that drawer bank to put a microwave in there. I'm like, you don't want to do that. Even if it's on a base, which I think is a good spot for a microwave personally. I mean, other than a small countertop style one, but if it's in a base cabinet, it means you're losing that for something else. You really have to think that through. Is it worth it? So whatever it is, consider that, but also then consider the height of that unit. So countertop is a great height. You don't have to reach, you don't have to bend. So right there. So whether that's on a countertop or built into a pantry at countertop height, that's fine. That's great. If not, think about how long do you want to be reaching up into a microwave or bending down into a microwave. So just some things to think about, and it's important that you think about that. Don't plan your kitchen around your microwave, but also don't let it just be an afterthought as well. So if maybe I'm like saying, like I'm opposing myself with my words here, but the idea is, don't change your design for a microwave. If you need a big drawer bank, then that's probably more important than putting this gigantic, microwave in a base cabinet when you could just put a small one on a countertop somewhere. It's all case specific, but just something really to think about how you want it. And if you're used to a specific type, many people are used to, especially right now in the age we live in, a lot of people are used to an OTR microwave, and they can't really see it another way almost. Or they're used to maybe having it in a cabinet over an oven or something like that. So sometimes you're used to a particular way and you can't see it a different way. So it's good to find showrooms where you can see the difference, or at least pictures, or talk to people or whatever, get a variety of ideas of how that's going to work. And then think about the height specifically. The height's really the key point here, not even what it is, but the height of that microwave. Now, another thing, the Home Depot lady, I had a good time at Home Depot today chatting with this kitchen designer. The other thing that she said that she had done, she showed me a design of it, was she took an OTR and she put it she mounted it, but not over a range. So it just becomes an OTC over the cabinet, I guess, microwave. And she just mounted it there with cabinets on both sides. So it kind of looks built in, but it's actually an OTR. I don't know why she would have done that, but it was interesting. An OTR is, the purpose of an OTR is it has a vent hood. So why you'd install it anywhere else is kind of beyond me, but it was interesting. It was kind of fun to see. I don't know why she did that. Because there's no point. It doesn't vent. There's nothing to vent then anyway. Anyway, it was just interesting. We got lots of microwave comments. What's going on? Let's talk about microwaves. I don't want to get into too much about the OTR argument, but Matthew has a point. I'd argue if you're going to have an appliance be a focal point, make it your range. Yeah. You think, or your range hood. Depends on if it's visible. I guess I think a range hood or having something like the range and that whole section should be a focal point because your eye's drawn upwards generally, and so the range and everything above that. So whether you have specific tile work or a beautiful range hood, that's a good place for it. I thought OTRs were dangerous if your plate or bowl gets too hot. Well, that's kind of one of the considerations. Is one, especially if it's over if you're gonna, you could drop it obviously, and it's up high, and depends on how heavy things are. And again, it's all case specific. What are you using it for? We'll have, lots of people love it, lots of people don't. So I would agree that it's probably dangerous for that reason. I will say this: I've never dropped anything out of my OTRs that I've had in the past. So, it wasn't dangerous for me, but it could be dangerous. So yeah, I agree. Hubby found a spot where the microwave is going. Just need to power the outlet. Cool. That works. I think my microwave is too high. Hubby says I'm too short. well, you can't do nothing about that. If you'll have to lower the microwave or get a stool. Over the stove microwaves look a little ugly. Base cabinet is great, but you could do a convection microwave oven. The countertop takes up space and looks cluttered. Yeah, it can. Again, it depends on how much space you have, how much countertop space you have, how big that thing is. I prefer it hidden. That's why mine's on my island. It's out of sight. You can't see it. Nobody can see it. It's there. I don't even hardly use it, but you got to have one. But to each his own, and that's cool. I gotta be careful with the microwave talk because I don't want to get kicked off my own live stream by Jackie. So we gotta watch it. I looked all over to find a microwave with a door hinged at the top, but they don't exist. You just install it upside down. I don't know if that would even work. I mean, the rotator thing wouldn't work, but technically you could probably do that. Andrew, my hubby says the same thing. Since it's high, he has to clean it. Well, there you go. There's a I don't know what is it. That's something good or something bad. I forget what you call it. I cook barefoot. Oh, I do too, actually, in the summer. You made me rethink the OTR, like the pantry style cabinets because of ease of egress. Don't want to lose counter space or cabinet space. Well, it has to be right for the kitchen. So, and how you use it. So if it's gonna work over the range, it's gonna work. The OTC option is something I'm looking to doing, Mark. I have a spot I'd think about putting it. It would be great if I can design my own custom vent hood. Oh, there you go. Jackie, are you saying that you would take away your OTR? Can't believe it. After all these years? Mark, how do you decide the height for a double range in a cabinet? I see one the other day. I seen one the other day. I guess that was 4 inches from the floor. Oh, so it's right on the floor. Yeah, some of them are like that. If they're double ovens, sometimes those things can be quite high, like 60 inches. So you got to be careful. So if the height of appliance allows you to put a small drawer underneath, like you could go for that. Otherwise, I mean, I think it's the height of the appliance that dictates that. If you can have it so that you can get a drawer underneath and then the top still not be like too high, that's fine. So I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer there. It depends on the appliance, and if you can get it up higher, I like to have them higher than lower, just so that you want to. I like to have them at a height where if it's on the floor, then you're bending over. Well, I mean, obviously one you're not, but if you can have them up a little bit, I prefer that. Where's my camera again? Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's how you decide. Decide by the appliance itself. and then by preference. And then what you can do is if ask your designer to show it to you at different heights. Now I know it's on a, I know it's a picture or an elevation view, but like I can take an oven and I can move it up or down. And so, and I can, if I have the catalog, I can put the exact oven in that maybe you have, or at the very least, I can match the exact height that it is. And so that's maybe something else that you can do as well, is just what's it look like on the bottom, and how high can this thing go, and kind of do it that way. Not a microwave comment per se, but did you know that the microwave was invented because a guy walked by a machine and it melted his chocolate bar in his pocket? Is that true? That's awesome if it's true. The first thing I did after moving in was to replace the OTR with an under cabinet vent hood, thanks to this channel. Thank you. That's cool. Silver lining. Thank you, Jackie. You're coming in clutch, as the kids say these days. I appreciate you helping me out there. I got tongue tied. All right, let's keep going. Oh yeah, okay. The microwave drawer looks interesting, although expensive. I've had 2 clients in the past week or in a week and a half or 2 weeks that are putting in microwave drawers. So they're definitely on the rise too. Expensive or not expensive, I don't know, but they're definitely something that's becoming more popular. Dun, dun, dun. So many comments. I love it. I love the comments. I could just sit here all day. Here's Helen. I haven't talked to Helen yet. Hi, Helen. Happy Thursday morning. I have to jump off early. MTK Mark and MTKers. I have a master class barista course starting now. Cool. Well, Helen, I don't know if you're gone already, but thanks for being on this long. I super appreciate you. And I know who'll be making my coffee if I ever come to Gippsland. So awesome. Kelly, if you let me do that, that'd be cool. I would love to roast a kitchen. I mean, nicely, but send me some pictures, and I'll do it. I'll make a YouTube video out of it. Mark at mtkd.ca. With your permission, I will roast your kitchen. No problem. Nicely, of course. I'll do it nicely. All right, let's keep going. Let's go. All right, here we go. So next one is, I don't know how many of these. I have 10 of these, but I don't know which number we're on. So we got the microwave figured out. Hope we do. Let's go to the next one. Plan your landing. Plan your landing. This is just, a reminder that it's important to have landing space next to appliances. At least 15, 18, 24, 36 inches, whatever you can get. Now, sometimes you don't have that option because, of the fridge placement or whatever the placement is. And can the landing space for an appliance be on an island? And yes, it can be. Can the landing space for an oven be on an island? Yes, it can be. So as long as there's a place that you can take whatever it is you are taking out of that appliance, and you can put it somewhere, so you're not stuck with it in your hand and it's burning you or something. You got to be able to put it down. So again, that's one of those kind of safety features. Thanks, Helen. Is that you need to have a landing space. So okay, let me talk about this kitchen again that I'm doing for today's client. They don't have landing space next to their fridge or their stove because those 2 appliances are jammed together. So that's one of the things that we're trying to solve with the new kitchen design, is to allow for some countertop space on both sides of the range, and then also that for the fridge. It's fine that they share landing space. That's okay, but you just want to be able to have that when you're designing a kitchen. And normally this wouldn't, normally if you're designing a kitchen, you would accommodate for that. So it's not like this is almost something that would just happen on its own anyway. But you do want to think about it, and having as much of it as possible is always good. So The landing space is according to the National Kitchen and Bath Association, (NKBA), differ like for next to sinks as they do next to ranges. So you want to just, not that those are rules, they're just guidelines. You want to have a little bit more next to, your sink on one side than the other. You want to have at least 15 inches next to your range. These are all just guidelines, but plan for that. It's very important. That's the Mark's Kitchen Roast. Hey, that's actually a great name because it's a roast, what you make in your kitchen, but I'll roast your kitchen. So that's cool. Minimum length for landing space. Yeah, 15 inches. So is the minimum. Here's a good one from a professional. Don't put baked goods in your microwave. Microwaving is the same chemical process as staling. Oh, as staling. I think that's what. Am I reading that right? I just don't know how to read. Probably. That's interesting. I never knew that. Don't put baked goods because it makes them stale. Super tips coming today. I like that one. Awesome. That's what's so great about this. You just learn stuff. Okay, with the exception of cookies. With the exception of cookies, because what's better than a heated up cookie and a cup of tea? All right, let's go to the next slide. Here we go. All right, so we got your landing counter space cadet. I couldn't help myself. Counter space cadet. I love it. Oh my goodness. All right, think through how much prep area you need for your kitchen. So again, this goes kind of along with landing area, but a little bit differently. You want to plan out that prep space. So in the video that I'm commenting on for Saturday, the video that talks about the 1949 kitchen, they're suggesting minimum counter space, and the NKBA says you should have at least 36 inches of uninterrupted NKBA uninterrupted counter space. So, and again, depends on the size of your kitchen, but if you can, try to do that. Thanks, Carol, for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great week. Hopefully we see you next week. Oh, and by the way, I'm delayed on getting these comments, so if I'm delayed, that's why, because I'm on a different little platform here. So you want to have at least 36 inches of counter space. The more the better. So just plan that counter space the best you can. You want to make sure that you are a counter space cadet in your new kitchen so that you have the most amount of prep area possible. This came again today from my client. So a lot of these things come from what I was dealing with today in making this kitchen as useful. This particular client does a lot of canning, a lot of baking, and so you need to have a nice big piece of counter space for that. So we changed the design a few times to make sure we had that, because that's really important for the user of this kitchen, and that might not be important for you, but so you might design it differently. But the more counter space, the better. If you can get it, get it. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one, and what time is it? Oh, we're getting time to go soon anyway. All right. So don't be a counter space cadet. Is it bad that I laugh at my own jokes? I hope not. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's got to go somewhere. So garbage normally we have figured out. And then I was going to put another subheading in this one, which says, why is this even in the kitchen in the first place? Why do we have recycles? Obviously, it's because we're emptying packages there, and so it's convenient that we have a place to put those packages. But isn't it interesting that we have this like dedicated cabinet for just recycles? Like, can't that go somewhere else in another room? Why is it stuck in the kitchen? Why can't that be used for something else? I mean, it works. I have one in my own, this 18-inch wide cabinet that's just for recycles. It's got 2 bins in there. It's very useful because we do use it. But how did it end up being that it has to be in the kitchen? Again, I know we're using it, we rinse stuff out, we put it in there, and that's fine. But I just wish it wasn't that way. I wish I could use that cabinet for something else. So, I mean, it is what it is. In the same sense, I guess it's pretty convenient. But anyway, back to what I was saying, it's got to go somewhere. So when you're planning out a kitchen, think about where you put your recyclables, and having a cabinet for that. Almost every cabinet company has a cabinet that's dedicated for this. Okay, back to Home Depot, because I was there today, obviously. So back to what they're saying. They had a couple options for us. One was a 35 quart and one was a 50 quart, 2 bin. So we were like, I just said, get the 50s, because why not? There's room for both of them in the cabinet. Why wouldn't you just go with the 50s? They hold more. You're not, maybe it'd be emptying them less. So think about the sizing of those things. So don't just get the one little one. Try to get at least 2 big ones in there. And the fact that they have, the fact that they even have 50 quart bins is awesome. But again, so think about that. Think about where they're going to go, and do they need to be in your kitchen? Is there somewhere else that they might be able to go? They're hard to deal with, and so I guess hiding them in a cabinet is the best thing. I just wish that there was a better way to do it. How do I sign up to be a counter space cadet? Stick with me and we'll make you one. Don't you worry about that. As Rocky from Paw Patrol would say, don't lose it, reuse it. You love your kid shows, Phil. I used to love them too. Dora the Explorer, I'm telling you. All right, let's keep going. What's the one? I think I got one more, or was that the last one? No, I got one more. Don't let the door hit you. Don't let the door hit you. What am I talking about here? It's a nice little kitchen, nice countertop, interesting fridge placement. Wow, it's cool. Don't let the door hit you. Doodle bops. I remember those. Wow. Yo Gabba Gabba was my favorite. Anyone remember that one? Yo Gabba Gabba. That was awesome. Okay. Don't let the door hit you. I'm not talking about your opening door here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your cabinet doors and the way they swing. In other words, make sure you plan that out. If you're doing your own design, if you're doing your own kitchen, you want to make sure that the doors are hinged in a way that makes sense. Now, even I get this wrong sometimes. You get into the zone, you don't think about it. So even designers will get this wrong. Okay, so if you know about it too, when you are looking at a kitchen design that someone designs for you, to know the hinging of those doors. For instance, if you have a 90-degree corner cabinet with an appliance on one of those ends, you don't want the door to be opening into that appliance. You want it to be opening out from that appliance, because the depth of the appliance is going to hinder the door from opening all the way, and it's going to cause a problem. So that's one thing. Or just if you have a wall cabinet, and it's a left opening door, or maybe it's a right, it's a right hand swing. It's going to open into your face. You want to make sure it's a left hand swing. So simple things, but they can be issues if not thought about. Because it's a nuisance if you're opening a door, around you. You want it to open so that it's, you're not trying to get around the door when it's open. So just stuff to think about when planning a kitchen renovation. And sorry, I'll just put that up. So something to think about when planning a kitchen renovation, so that you don't have that frustration later on. And it will be frustrating if it's done around an appliance. That's opening into appliance and whatnot. So plan that out properly with your doors. Don't let the door hit you. Oh my. Jackie, that show was incredible. I loved Yo Gabba Gabba. The party on my tummy. It's just a great show. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Let's go back to that kitchen for a second. Look at it. Narrow fridge. Has anyone seen the new fridge that IKEA has? Super narrow. Really cool. We are so into wide fridges in North America, but I think there is going to be this maybe a resurgence of narrower fridges in the future. And, wait for it. It could happen. Hey, Daniel, thank you for the question. On the thought of recycling, plan for a place to put compostable scraps. Yeah, very good point. So this is another thing. And generally, you can also get bins for this specifically. How many of you have, you know, um, we call them garburators where I live, but things that you put your garbage in that's hooked up to your sink. Um, that's another thing that people use for this type of thing for compostable scraps is that's a big one. But yeah, make sure you have. Like, for us, we get these little green bins, and generally they go into your sink, and they kind of get gross. So that's definitely something good to plan out. So thanks, Daniel, for that one. Really good point. Um, Poll time. All right, let's look at the poll. See where we're at. 74% say open kitchen, closed kitchen at 26%. So that's, yeah, most people are liking that. Garbage disposal. Yeah, disposal units. I can't think tonight. Garbage disposal. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Nah, maybe. Maybe. Don't they make like 18-inch columns now? They do make an 18-inch column. Yeah, they do. I think I don't know if it's Viking. I don't know. One of those companies has or Sub-Zero. They have an 18-inch. Carburetors are banned in my condo building. I wonder why. I mean, I've never had one, and Jackie's saying hit the like button. I agree with her. I've never had one. Used to sell them, and I've only ever used them before when I was on vacation, actually. So here we can get rid of that. Okay, awesome. Awesome. So Kelly, I guess the next question is, do you want me to roast it live? Like, or do you want me to do a video on it? Let me know. Live incinerator. Yes. That's the other thing I couldn't think about. We call them garburators, but yeah, incinerator. I think that's the actual name of it, right? Plumbers don't like them either. I heard you could put a light bulb in there to sharpen them. Is that true? Is that true? Maybe that should be a poll. Should we roast Kelly's Kitchen live? I won't do it right now. Maybe next week, just because it's getting late. But that'd be fun. In fact, if anyone wants me to roast their kitchen live, and by the way, it would certainly not to make you feel bad, but more trouble than they're worth. Decide I've seen the pics. Okay, you'll leave it up to me. Will do. That'd be fun. Oh, Jackie, you have a carburetor. Cool. Incinerator brand, yeah. Ice will clean them. I heard you can sharpen them with a light bulb. I can't imagine just breaking a light bulb and putting it in your sink, but that'd be cool. Oh, the building is not wired for it. Oh, if it's a surge and plumbing can't handle the stuff. We get vomit. Oh my, ugh. Like real vomit? Oh, that sounds horrible. Our disposal rusted after 20 years, didn't replace it. Now we have a huge single sink. I love single sinks. It is all in fun. Yeah, it is all in fun for sure. Probably most people know. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So, counter depth for short people and wider rather than taller. For us short people, roast my kitchen, no holds barred. Well, that's the address. Send me some pictures. We'll have fun with it. Okay, Matthew, I'm looking at yours tomorrow, actually. So I got some pictures I'll look at, and we'll go from there. We'll roast it away. Oh, garburator vomit. Okay, I'm like, how did vomit get in your garburator? I mean, it could obviously, but okay. All right, it spits back up. That makes sense. And gross. That's probably a code thing too. New York City, no garbage disposals. Huh? Yeah. Interesting. I gotta investigate those garbage disposals. Maybe I'll try to do a video on those too. Well, oh yeah. Jackie, I would never roast your kitchen. You spend a lot of time making it look pretty, so I mean, you could all roast my kitchen. You see it in some of my videos, and there's lots of things you could roast about my kitchen. Okay, no problem. Send me the pics. I'll have a look at it. We'll chat what we want to do. Anyone wants to send me pics of their kitchen that I want to roast, maybe put the subject roast my kitchen, so I don't get it confused with you wanting to be a client and want me to redesign it for you. Roast my kitchen, mtkd.ca. I had fun tonight. Thanks so much for being on. Thanks for all the comments. If I missed your comment, my apologies. If you're watching from a screen where you can't comment, like a television or whatnot, thank you so much for watching. If you're still on watching this right now, I really appreciate it. Give a thumbs up if you want, and wait a minute, there we go. Give a thumbs up. It's always appreciated. How many thumbs up do we have? We got 50. Cool. All right, we're doing good. I had a great night. I really do appreciate it, everyone. So this week's video, check it out when it comes out. It is me commenting on the step saving kitchen from 1949. Interesting video, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on, is it still functional by today's standards, and hopefully you'll like that. Ranella, yeah, no problem. I definitely wouldn't want to roast anything, but I will definitely love to look at before and after pictures. People send me them all the time. I really appreciate it. I love it. I love looking at those things. So we got some happy birthday wishes coming for Jackie. Birthday's on Sunday. So, send her out. You can go to Jackie of All Trades on YouTube and and wish her a happy birthday as well over on her channel, and subscribe while you're there. Oh, hold on. Wait, no, sorry. Hold on. Question about step saving kitchen. Is it built in or freestanding? It's all built in. It is. You can take a look at the video. It's Step Saving Kitchen, 1949, and it's from the U.S. National Archives or something like that. It's very custom, super custom. I mean, and kind of cool actually. There's a lot of cool features about it actually. And even though it's like over 70 years old, the video and the concepts that they're putting forth. So really cool. Jackie, you got all the birthday love coming in. Bang, bang. Another one. Cool. There you go. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, appreciate you all. Thanks so much for being here on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, wherever you're watching this from, or if you're in the UK, or really late, middle of the night for you. But I know if you're watching from the UK, drink some coffee. So next week we'll be here again, spreading some kitchen love, and from then, sorry, I'll be in Toronto for the next stream. Yay, cool. You're gonna be a Canadian for a day. Awesome. We'll see you next Wednesday, everybody. I will put on the end screen here as I leave and say thanks so much. Love you all. Really do appreciate you being on tonight's live.